Classroom Observation Tool (RPMS) for Proficient Teachers, Teachers 1 to 3, in the time of the COVID-19 pandemic for school year 2021 to 2022. Rubrics Level Summary. Level 3, Organizing. The teacher demonstrates a limited range of loosely associated pedagogical aspects of the indicator. Level 4, Developing. The teacher demonstrates a range of associated pedagogical aspects of the indicator that sometimes are aligned with the learner's developmental needs. 5. Applying. The teacher demonstrates a range of associated pedagogical aspects of the indicator that usually are aligned with the learner's developmental needs. Level 6, Consolidating. The teacher uses well-connected pedagogical aspects of the indicator that consistently are aligned with the student development and support students to be successful learners. And number 7, Integrating. The teacher uses well-connected pedagogical aspects of the indicator to create an environment that addresses individual and group learning goals. Indicator 1. Apply knowledge of content within and across curriculum teaching areas. For 3, the teacher demonstrates minor content errors either in presenting the lesson or in responding to learner questions or comments. The lesson content displays simple coherence. 4. The teacher demonstrates accurate knowledge of key concepts both in presenting the lesson and responding to learners' questions or comments. The lesson content displays coherence. The teacher attempts to make connections across curriculum teaching areas if appropriate. 5. The teacher demonstrates accurate and in-depth knowledge of most concepts in presenting the lesson and in responding to learners' questions in a manner that attempts to be responsive to students' developmental learning needs. The teacher makes connections across curriculum teaching areas if appropriate. For 6, the teacher demonstrates accurate and in-depth knowledge of all concepts in presenting the lessons and in responding to learners' questions in a manner that is responsive to learners' developmental needs and promotes learning. The teacher makes meaningful connections across the curriculum teaching areas if appropriate. For 7, the teacher applies accurate, in-depth, and broad knowledge of content and pedagogy that creates a conducive learning environment that enables an in-depth and sophisticated understanding of the teaching and learning process to meet individual or group learning needs within and across curriculum teaching areas. Indicator 2. Display proficient use of mother tongue, Filipino, and English to facilitate teaching and learning. Sa 3, the teacher displays intermediate mid-sub-level proficiency in the use of mother tongue, Filipino, or English that loosely facilitates teaching and learning. Para naman sa 4, intermediate high sub-level proficiency. Sa 5, advanced low sub-level proficiency. 6, advanced mid sub-level proficiency. And 7, advanced high sub-level proficiency. Indicator 3. Use effective verbal and non-verbal classroom communication strategies to support learner understanding, participation, engagement, and achievement. Para sa 3, limited lamang, insufficient strategies employed when more are required by the learning situation. 4, sufficient, minimum strategies employed as required by the learning situation. 5, a range of different strategies employed as required by the learning situation. Variety yan. 6. Some, less than half, majority, more than half, most, almost all approaching 100%. For verbal communication strategies, use of spoken words and written information that includes short phrases, instructions, and then it can be non-verbal communication strategies, loosely associated, somewhat aligned, generally aligned, and well aligned. For indicator 4, establish safe and secure learning environments to enhance learning through consistent implementation of policies, guidelines, and procedures. For 3, it is rarely or seldom occurs. 4, occasionally. 5, frequently. 6, generally. 7, consistently. The safe learning environment, every aspect of creating a positive experience for students, which includes the physical space and the relationship between students, teachers, and the learning community as a whole. Secure learning environment, safety policies, guidelines, and procedures. For indicator 5, maintain learning environments that promote fairness, respect, and care to encourage learning. 3. The teacher-learner interactions occasionally support fairness, respect, and care, which results in some learners feeling accepted and encouraged to learn. 4. The teacher-learner interactions are generally fair, respectful, caring, and the majority of learners feel accepted and encouraged to learn. For 5, the teacher-learner interactions are consistently fair, respect, and caring, and most learners feel accepted and encouraged to learn. Sa 6, the interactions are consistently fair. 7, the teacher promotes a supportive and nurturing learning environment where all learners feel accepted, encouraged to learn, and feel. Indicator 6. Maintain learning environments that nurture and inspire learners to participate, cooperate, and collaborate in continued learning. For the indicator 3, the teacher provides limited learning opportunities which are loosely associated with the learning goals and engages only some learners to participate, cooperate, and collaborate in continued learning. Sa 4 is sufficient, minimum strategies employed as required by the learning situation. 5, a range of different strategies, that is the variety, employed as required by the learning situation. Some, less than half. For 6, a variety of learning opportunities. 7, the teacher consistently provides varied learning opportunities which are well aligned with the learners. Indicator 7. Apply a range of successful strategies that maintain learning environments that motivates learners to work productively by assuming responsibility for their own learning. 3. The teacher applies limited strategies which are loosely associated with the learning goals. 4. The teacher applies sufficient strategies which are somewhat aligned with the learning goals. 5. The teacher applies sufficient strategies which are usually aligned with the learning goals. 6. The teacher applies a variety of strategies which are well aligned with the learning goals. And 7. The teacher consistently applies strategies which are well aligned with the learner's individual and group learning needs. For Indicator 8, design, adopt, and implement teaching strategies that are responsive to learners with disabilities, giftedness, and talents. 3. The teacher employs strategies which are somewhat appropriate in addressing the learning needs of learners. 4. The teacher employs strategies which are partially appropriate. 5. The teacher employs strategies which are appropriate in addressing the learning needs. 6. The teacher employs a variety of strategies which are appropriate in addressing the learning needs of learners. 7. The teacher employs extensive repertoire of strategies to create a learner-centered environment that addresses the learning needs of the individual. Indicator 9. So this is the last indicator. Adopt and usually culturally appropriate teaching strategies to address the needs of learners from indigenous groups. Number 3, the teacher employs strategies which are somewhat culturally appropriate. 4, the teacher employs strategies which are partially culturally appropriate. 5, the teacher employs strategies which are culturally appropriate. 6, the teacher employs a variety of strategies which are culturally appropriate in addressing the learning needs of learners. And 7, the teacher employs extensive repertoire of strategies to create a learner-centered environment that addresses the learning needs of individuals. So for the culture-based education, an education that is grounded in the context of indigenous communities' life, recognizes their indigenous knowledge system and practices, that is under DepEd Order 32 Series of 2015, enclosure page 4.